Hey guys, what's up? I've been playing with a new opening. Just thought I'd share a game with you, and then let's do a little bit of theory, and yeah, it might be fun. So it got me thinking because I had a really good call with Craig. So Craig is our most highly rated Chess Bootcamp Live coach out of the three of us slash four of us. 2100 in Blitz and 2280 in Rapid on chess.com right now. So very, very good. And he's played this opening with the white pieces for his entire career so far, which has been pretty stratospheric rise, starting down at 800 or so. But he's played the Ruy Lopez Exchange Variation from the start. Okay, so what does that mean? Does it mean the Ruy Lopez Exchange Variation is an awesome opening? Well, yes, but almost any opening can be an awesome opening if you know it better than your opponent, if you know the middle game ideas, if you know even the end games that you're going to try and get to. So I thought I'd give it a run out in Blitz. So I'm going to share with you a Blitz game, and then we'll look at a little bit of theory. That's all right with you? Okay, so what is the Ruy Lopez? Well, it comes from the normal King's Pawn opening, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. Okay, and now at the lower levels, up into intermediate, you get more Italian games with this light square bishop coming out to c4. The Ruy Lopez, aka the Spanish opening, is bishop to b5. You can also get the Scotch, you can get the Ponziani, you can get three knights, you can get a variety of stuff, obviously, from here. But the Ruy Lopez is a really classical opening. So what's the point of this? Well, if we go back to the beginning, I brought out my pawn, Black's brought out his pawn. I attack Black's pawn. Okay, this is the point of knight f3. Also, we are starting to clear the king side, getting ready for short castles. Okay, but the immediate issue is we attack the pawn. Okay, so Black defends the pawn with their queen's knight, because whenever you bring out the opposite knights, they're looking at the same two squares in the center. These light squared knights, when they come out, they're going to be looking at the two light squares in the center. Okay, so and then the point of this move is we are threatening to eliminate the knights. They recapture, and then we can grab this knight for free. Now, it's not as simple as all that, because let's say that Black just wasted a move, takes. We can win the pawn, but then the queen is going to come out to d4 with a fork on the knight and the pawn, and White can't save both, so he has to retreat the knight, and then Black can actually win the pawn back. Okay, but there's a lot of theory in all of this, and I've kind of not played this. Blimey, here comes the sun. It's all right. Okay, anyway, now there are a few responses obviously that Black can do. It's a very well-known opening. It's been around for hundreds of years, and it's jolly good. What we're really looking for is the most common move, which is pawn to a6. Now at the top level, a lot of players will bring the bishop back, and you might get the knight coming out with Berlin, blah 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 blah. This is known as the Morphy defense, and in the exchange variation we take the knight. Right, now they have to recapture with the d pawn. If they recapture here with the b pawn, we can win this because the queen can't come out to d4. That's the whole point. So they have to take with this pawn. And one of the ideas, as Craig has explained, is White has a better pawn structure on the queen side. Right, so once everything gets traded off, in theory, White should carry a small advantage into the endgame, right, because they don't have the double pawns. Okay. But it's also a lot more venomous than all of this. So let me show you what happens next. So you get castled as White. Now, because we're attacking this pawn, right, there's not that many things that Black can do. They could bring out their queen, right, which isn't very common. This is by far the most common move, I think, to bring the bishop out here. Okay, now I had studied this much. Pawn to d4. We put a second attacker on this pawn. Right, we've built a strong center. They will often take, right, just resolving the problem. and then you recapture with the queen. And now this is a position that's been reached a squillion times. And funnily enough, black has to be very, very careful, as we shall see in a bit. So there's one move here for black that isn't terrible, and every other option is kind of terrible. Okay, so the move that black has to play here is pawn to f6, I believe. Right? I'm by no means, I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert in the Ruy Lopez Exchange Variation. There are a lot of issues. We are targeting, for example, g7 and the rook behind it. Okay, a natural developing move like knight f6 walks straight into e5, and you'd be amazed how many people actually play it. In the game, black plays another awful move, pawn to c5, saying off you go, queenie, out of there. Okay, so I'll take you through the rest of this game. I capture the pawn, and now white is already basically winning, right? The queen comes out, this familiar triangular, menage a trois. Knight defends queen, queen, x-ray defends rook, rook defends knight. Okay, I trade off, and here I'm only one pawn up, and I don't have the bishop pair, but my king is safe. I have the only central pawn. Well, arguably black has this Sicilian pawn that they've put here. Okay, so I know, just push on. It's a pawn fork. You're going to lose material, dude. You lost material, dude. Okay. I throw in a check, getting my rook onto the open file. I see this. Currently my bishop defends, that's fine. Their bishop comes out and blocks. And I decide to... come in and attack the pinned bishop. Yeah, so it's just checking. I was like, did I just hang a piece? No. Okay. Attack the pinned piece, we trade off. And now he's still got a pinned bishop. Start some counterplay on the king side. I just come in, prevent his pawn from moving forwards, dive back, and they double up. I do this. We don't really have to see the rest of the game, but basically I'm winning throughout from this position. So let me share with you a couple of Lichess studies. So here I'm in an incognito window, which means I'm not logged in, and there are a few chapters. Let's go through, starting with the main line. Okay. Oh, I've got to play it through. So it's showing it in preview mode. Okay. So we've got to play all of this through. Okay. So this is the Ruy Lopez, and we trade. They take back, you castle, and of course it's got all of these hints as well. Obviously there's no hint for this move. You take back with the queen. Okay, so only f6 keeps black in the game, and that is played half the time. That's the good thing. And this is the main line. This is the most common line that you will get. Okay, now black's king isn't castled, so force open the center. Okay, capture again with the knight. Okay, pin the knight. And this is, believe it or not, a blunder. Right? They're thinking, oh, I'll get my king safe, I've got a semi-open file for the rook, but queen c2 check now, right? Can't be blocked by the rook, can't be blocked by the bishop, right? Because it will just take, and now in comes the knight, defended by the queen. They've just given up an exchange, and white wins 2 out of 3 games from here. Thank you very much. And that is like the most common line that you will get. Okay. Let's look at something else. We're learning together here, okay? And I like the fact that in these chapters I start them all from the beginning, so you get a feel for the rhythm of the game as well. Okay, bishop comes out, we do that, and they pin. Okay, so it says take. Obviously we take with the queen. Okay, we want to attack black's bishop with our knight. We want to head for c4, bam, 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 okay, but without allowing this. Because if we come here, bishop can take and really mess up our pawn. So we're going to come knight to d2 and carry on with the plan. We're attacking the bishop, okay? Prevent long castles. Rook d1. Okay. And now we push up with the queen to pressurize the bishop. It's good to trade. Ooh. Well, what are we trading then? It's good to trade, he says. What's he on about? Queen takes. Yes. Okay, and that is equal, right? And after we basically protect this pawn, probably with f3, we're just better. We don't have the double pawns. Okay, we've got the central pawn here. We also have a bishop in the end game, and this should be better. Wow, 87% win rate for white. And also notice that because this is quite a common line, that white's going to have much better experience of converting this endgame than black is. Okay, let's look at a few more tweaks and wrinkles. I nearly played the Danish then. What am I on about? What's going on? What's he like? Okay, tradey, takey castles. And we play d4. Queen takes. Okay. And now at this point, it's a massive blunder. Why is it a massive blunder? Well, there's no hint, so I'm guessing we just take the pawn. Take the rook. Take the knight. Okay. Ooh, damn. Boom. That's just awful. Okay. And when you drill these things over and over again, you'll just get second nature. Because this is I'm getting a feel. I mean, it feels like a dynamic opening, you know. It feels kind of in the family of the Vienna to me. Okay, played in 9% of games and a blunder. Why? Boom. And by the way, these 9% of games, we're talking about, I think, 1600, 1800 and 2000 on Lichess, right? It's not silly. Slide over to the H file. We've still got the pin. Just capturing the thing. Okay, chuck in a check. Develop and block. Boop. Yeah. Take with knight. Check with the queen. All the way over here. Now capture and counter attack black's queen. And you've got to like white's position here. Surely McLean, yeah? Develop the knight and go on to win, yeah? I mean, black's in bits, in total disarray. Got a few more little lines. Let's check them out. You know, if you've got something you've got to go and do, then feel free. But otherwise, I will just carry on learning. We'll learn together. That's the whole point. Castles, very important. Okay, strike at the centre. Takes. Bam, bam, bam. It's just reminding me that f6 has to be played. If the bishop comes back, played 6% of the time, clearly disadvantages black. We trade queens. Bang, chuck in a check, and white wins overwhelmingly from here. Wonderful. What's not to like? Okay, I think I'm going to play the Spanish in this game. Okay, and the exchange variation. So this is all based on, is it 3a6? Okay, castles. This is muy importante. Oh, sorry. Okay, so immediate bishop thing. Okay. Now, this is interesting. This is sneaky, and it's the most common move. So a lot of players at my level will know this move, right? Point is, we can't just take here. I'll show you what happens. Well, I won't show you what happens, but the line is in there. Okay, takes back. We've just opened up the H file, right? This knight's under pressure. It's going to have to move. This queen's going to dive in and try and checkmate us, basically. So we can't do that. Simply reinforce the center. D3. Okay, pair the knights. Knight bd2, and now b4. Okay, now this looks kind of odd, right? But white actually wins 64% of the time from here. This feels, yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of funky, isn't it? It's reminiscent of a few other shapes, but you know that move is played 34% of the time. This bishop g4 pin, so it's worth knowing. Okay, we're looking at f6 now. These are different alternatives on move 5. All right, let's go. Let's play the Ruy Lopez. Okay, now f6. f6. I haven't got notes on this yet, but I will go through and fill it all in for you. I guess we can just play the same move as normal. We don't have to capture straight away, but we can. Good. All right. Is that playable? Oh, it's to drop the knight back to e2. Probably developing? I don't know. Would I play? Well, there's a loose pawn there. No. What's the solution? Okay. Targeting this. Huh. Okay. But that's a slightly rarer sideline. But if, you know, that's the thing. This is the kind of thing that you will drill and drill and drill if you want this to be part of your repertoire. I don't know. I kind of like it. Now here, my notes say Craig plays d4. But the most common and the most successful move by white at the intermediate level is knight takes e5. Retreat and defend h2. Just grabbed ourselves a pawn. Pin? Question mark. What you speak? Oh. Get out of one pin and create another. Queen e1. Guess we can just take here with check. I guess we can trade off. And we're up a piece. We're up a whole piece here. Okay. Couple more for the road. And I've also got a study on Ruy Lopez sidelines, for example, if they don't play that, which we don't have to go through now. So this is actually very common. Actually, what? Right, this is the other side. This is the Steinitz defense. Okay, I think we could just threaten to attack the now pinned knight. Yep, and we castle. I've actually got this in my other study as well. We take? Yeah. Take there, and then take the knight. And white wins 58% from there. And we'll look at the Berlin. I think this is the Berlin with 3 knight f6, isn't it? Okay. At intermediate level, castles is best. Do we just kick the knight? Do we take the knight? No. Okay. So a couple of notes are required, but I'll fill them in for you guys. No. There we go. I guess no. Wow. Okay. So anyway, so that's all the lessons that I've got up to, all the studies, chapters that I've got up to so far in this study. But I mean, overall, when you go over that, when you watch that, do you get a feel like, yeah, this is kind of sexy opening? You know, I do. I think it's a bit like the Vienna. I don't know which is the more common. I see quite. I mean, with the black pieces as an e4, e5 player, I see quite a lot of Viennas and I see quite a lot of Spanish as well. The Italian is just starting to wane a bit at 1600, but definitely exciting and definitely full of traps. And who would have thought, you know, that something as classic as the Ruy Lopez could be that interesting? But you know, it's got Craig well above 2000, so it can't be that bad, can it? So there you go. You might want to check it out for yourself. I know that also Igor Smirnov from Remote Chess Academy, he's done a video on this as well recently, so you might want to check that one out as well. But other than that, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.